confiscated pens with carded notes for a test. The oldest hotel in the world is the Nishiyama Onsen Kyokan in Japan and has been in business since 705 AD. The crazy thing is that it's still a family business for 52 generations. Hair after using a razor versus an electric shaver. One of the Easter Island Moai statues that was carved but never erected. It would have stood 72 feet tall. The tallest standing is 33 feet high and weighed more than 2 Boeing 737s. This also shows how the figures were carved. A 9,000-year-old skeleton was found inside a cave in Cheddar, England, and nicknamed Cheddar Man. His DNA was tested, and it was concluded that a living relative was teaching history about a half-mile away, tracing back nearly 300 generations. The Sphinx has a tail. How Coke bottles change over time. A military plane just crashed into a residential building in Russia. The pilot ejected, as you can see in the image. This was in Yeisk. This painting is 113 years old. Harrison Okene spent 60 hours underwater in darkness after his boat capsized 20 miles off the coast of Nigeria and sank to the bottom of the ocean. He was discovered alive by divers, who were sent to recover dead bodies. What happens when you let computers optimize floor plans? Hippos aren't actually fat, they're almost entirely made of solid muscle. This is what an anti-drone guns look like, called Skywiper. This British man found a vulnerability in Dutch government systems and reported it. He got this letter and shirt in return. Borromean rings. No two circles are linked, but nonetheless all three are linked. Reconstruction of the Stafford Road Man, an Anglo-Saxon who lived in England circa Anno Domini 550, tragically 1,400 years before the invention of the electric bass guitar. Restaurant has blue light in bathrooms, so addicts can't find veins to shoot up. That one time in 1975 when the skipper of USS Finback, SSN 670, hired Cat Fudge, a go-go dancer, to dance for the crew on one of the Fairwater planes, while the submarine departed Port Canaveral. He did it to improve crew morale. The skipper was ultimately relieved of command for this act. Each of these is an insect. The beautiful giant fin on a sailfish. The Sagittarius bird found in Africa. This mugshot got him a modeling contract. Cigarette ballot bins customized to reduce cigarette litter. GPS tracking of 6 wolf packs, showing how they avoid each other's range. Voyageurs National Park, Minnesota. A wasp's nest that grew around the garage floodlights. Thermal camera shows temperature difference between normal foot and foot with ingrown nail. Police departments in Canada give out positive tickets to kids when they see them doing something positive. A small Peruvian town of Santo Tomas celebrates Takanaka every December 25th. Men, women, and children settle grudges with fistfights. Then everyone goes drinking together, ready to start the new year with a clean slate. Mount Fuji reflecting in Lake Tanuki, Japan. The throne in one of Saddam Hussein's former palaces. The San Antonio Spurs celebrating the 1999 NBA championship by having a LAN StarCraft party. A California bakery spent a month making a 6-foot recreation of Han Solo frozen in carbonite, made entirely of bread. The mother and daughter duo behind the creation called him Pan Solo. Not sure if it classifies as interesting as duck, but I bent solid walnut for my table legs using bent lamination. A telephone booth cemetery in the UK. McLaren F1 team base was used as a film set in Star Wars and Comet 67p compared to the city of Los Angeles. A statue in Istanbul to honor Tombili, a famous stray cat. He used to sit in this position and watch passers-by. Canadian-US border in northern Idaho. They cut down all the trees along the border to market. A US Navy fighter jet creating shockwave lines as it approached the speed of sound. Original Mount Rushmore sculpture design, before lack of funding scaled it back. A wedding of twin grooms with twin brides, officiated by twin priests with twin page boys and flower girls. A Renaissance painting showing watermelons before domestication. Himalayan griffon vulture showing off its fake eyes to scare other species. Very lies are near the beak. A place where the sea, bulk beach, yellow river and green fields meet, Iceland. The life of my great-grandmother. Meet the cat Midas, she got multiple ears. Weighing over 400 pounds, this is the heart of a blue whale, the largest animal that has ever lived. 18th October 1963, Failure set the first cat in space. Scythian husband and wife burial, found in Ukraine, circa 1000 BC. This 1,400 pound bear. The world's largest digital camera with a 3200 megapixel sensor. For comparison, an iPhone 14 Pro has 48 megapixel, is able to photograph a golf ball from more than 20 kilometers away. Obsidian stone knife with antler handle I made. Indian soldiers burying dead Pakistani soldiers in the mountains of Kashmir according to Islamic rituals after Pakistan refused to accept their bodies. Kargil War, 1999. An X-ray of a hammerhead shark. Trinity, the world's first nuclear explosion, 25 milliseconds after detonation. Alamogordo bombing range, New Mexico, the 16th of July 1945. Serbian combat diver. Meet the strawberry squid. It lives in a region of the ocean known as the mesopelagic or twilight zone, 200 to 1000 meters below the surface. Reverse Zeus, where wild animals can gawk at humans while they are secured in a cage. A building from 1420s undergoing restoration. This is how narwhal, dog with the tail on head, looks like now. The knee I've had since I was 18, and the one I have now. A image comparison between the Hubble, left, and James Webb Telescope, right. Each speck of light is an entire galaxy. The Great Pyramids of Giza from above. A salesman has his motorized roller skates carefully refueled at gas station, Connecticut, 1961. Very rarely a roll cloud can turn into a spherical cloud, like this one observed over Japan in December 2016. A 1994 recruitment ad from a little startup company in Seattle. Kanye West and his mother donned a West in China. Kanye's mother was teaching at Nanjing University on a Fulbright scholarship, 1987. Largest fossil of a giant millipede has been found on a beach in North England. The creature, called Arthropleura, dates from the Carboniferous period, approximately 326 million years ago. Bagpipe training room on the train. Flying first class in the 1960s. These photos were taken 109 years ago by Mervyn O'Gorman of his daughter Christina. A navigation heat line in 1963, long before Google Maps. I used the wrong settings and got this image of the Milky Way. Contrary to cartoonization, the tortoise cannot be removed from the shell. Its shell is actually a modified rib cage. This 3,424 horsepower custom semi-truck was sold at $12 million. The grain in our dining room table looks like Elven script. This is a copperhead and cottonmouth hybrid somebody bred. Internal memo from 1977 titled Principles by Rob Strasser, Nike's first head of marketing. 1. Our business is change. 2. We're on offense. All the time. 3. Perfect results count. Not a perfect process. Break the rules. Fight the law. 4. This is as much about battle as about business. 5. Assume nothing. Make sure people keep their promises. Push yourselves, push others. Stretch the possible. 6. Live off the land. 7. Your job isn't done until the job is done. 8. Dangers. Bureaucracy. Personal ambition. Energy takers versus energy givers. Knowing our weaknesses. Don't get too many things on the platter. 9. It won't be pretty. 10. If we do the right things we'll make money damn near automatic. King Tut's extraterrestrial dagger. The iron used in the blade was forged from a meteorite. During the early 20th century, Howard Carter, a British Egyptologist, excavated for many years in the Valley of the Kings, a royal burial ground located on the west bank of the ancient city Thebes, Egypt. This absolute unit bison. What the original Michael Myers mask from Halloween, 1978, looks like nowadays. A Polish guy found a survey that came with Polish copies of Windows 3.1 that you could mail in to receive a game called Cheese Terminator. He decided to mail it in, and Microsoft not only wrote him back, but sent him a floppy disk of the game and a USB floppy drive, complete with a special package. The Hanson writing ball is an early typewriter. It was invented in 1865 and patented, and put into production in 1870, and was the first commercially produced typewriter. Just a bunch of coarse sand grains and stones. But they are sand grains and stones on Mars. This photo was taken yesterday by NASA Persevere's Sherlock Watson camera Sunday, the 16th of October 2022 at a local, mean solar time of 10 p.m. Copy one cassette to another with the Sony WMW800, 1985 double cassette player/recorder, 1985. The only double cassette Walkman. This model could dub tapes. Mimas, top left, and Prometheus, right, next to Saturn's rings, captured by the Cassini spacecraft. Dice made of terracotta from Indus Valley civilization. Found in Harappa, Pakistan. Carbon dating indicates 2600 to 1900 BC. Two daredevils playing tennis on the wings of an airplane, Gladys Roy and Ivan Unger, performed this stunt 3,280 feet above Los Angeles in November of 1925. 5 bullets jam in this revolver. Adolf Hitler and several NES officials survey the Great Gustav, the largest artillery cannon ever built at 155 feet long, 1,350 tons in weight, with 11-foot shells weighing 7 tons each. Blacklight flashlights make golf balls glow in the dark. Walk your local course at night to get all the free balls you want. Design of a safety coffin. Fear of premature burial was widespread in 18th and 19th century Europe, leading to the invention of a large number of safety coffins. Some Roman mosaics I've just visited at Fishbourne Roman Palace in Sussex, UK. Housefly's foot under the microscope. Mine workers who survived the explosion. Construction worker captured by photographer on the Manhattan Bridge, 1988. The very first product created by the 3 founders of Apple, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne. Apple Computer. Diaphanized axolotls. Process that clears the body and dyes bones and cartilage in the body. Common in preservation of wet and small species. Ottoman Empire armor belonging to Sultan Mustafa III, 18th century. Topkapi Palace, Istanbul, Turkey. My great-great-grandparents' naturalization papers. Tiled, bricked, paved, cemented, wooded, stoned, and unfinished, some manholes from Japan. Pope Francis received from Father Jimsich some personalized, yellow mid-77 Nike shoes with the pontiff's name on the back of them. Katsugyo bag live fish carrier. Map of every recorded tropical cyclone since 1851 using historical data from National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. This guitar looks like a concert hall. At the end of the 19th century, Ferdinand Cheval, a French mail carrier, built the most extraordinary example of naive art architecture. It took him 33 years, and he was completely alone. Unseen World of the Roots of Central European Trees, by Professor Kutcher and Lichtenegger from Wageningen University Research Center, Netherlands. On the facade of the Milan Cathedral there is a statue of 1810, author Camillo Passetti, which seems to have been the inspiration for the Statue of Liberty in New York. Boulder opal, harder and more stable than most precious opal. 20,000 years ago the Laurentide ice sheet covered most of North America to a depth of 2 miles or more. Here is the southern edge as it begins its slow retreat north across Lake Michigan, with the skyline of modern Chicago to scale. I photographed the pincers of an earwig. Highland Games hammer throwers anchor their feet by attaching blades to the soles of their shoes. A praying mantis versus a hummingbird. Paleoxodon amamidicus, or the straight-tusked elephant, was quite possibly the largest land mammal of all time. It is estimated to have weighed up to 24 tons. It only went extinct about 30,000 years ago, so it is highly likely humans encountered them. Pretty interesting to see that the cupcake I got at Whole Foods has an ingredient list that's as long as movie credits. Australia sells captured feral camels. Approximately 1 million of them roam the central and western deserts and sent to Saudi Arabia. Battle of St. Quentin Canal. Brigadier General John Wallenkamp LVC addressing men of the 137th Brigade, 46th Division, on the Rickwedel Bridge over the St. Quentin Canal, part of the Germans' Hindenburg Line, which they crossed on the 29th of September 1918. Beep baseball is a variant for the visually impaired. A beeping ball is used. Bases are 5 feet tall. Spotters call out which section of the field the ball lands in, and batters run until the ball is picked up by fielders. Pitchers and catchers are usually not blind, but there have been exceptions. There was at one time when the US developed the M65 atomic cannon, a 280mm howitzer designed to fire a W9 nuclear artillery shell. During the Upshot Not Hole Grable test in 1953, the M65 cannon successfully fired the W9 shell in Nevada at a distance of 11,000 yards. W9 fission yield was 15 knot. An image of mass ejection at the surface of the sun, measuring about 1 million miles in length. Beautiful flowers? Nope. It's a cross-section of human colon epithelial crypts. By Dr. Zardel Zartari from the Department of Pathology and Genomic Medicine at Houston Methodist Hospital in Texas. Most Mercator projection world maps are cropped at about 80 degrees north and 60 degrees south, leaving the equator off-center. On an equal 85 degree north and south crop, Antarctica is so distorted it's comically large. Jumbo, a capsule 25 feet long and 10 feet in diameter, and weighing 214 tons, was a contingency plan for the Trinity test. Gadget would be installed inside Jumbo, since Jumbo was designed to withstand the TNT explosion, but not the fission explosion. Jumbo would contain the plutonium if it failed. Brazilian newspaper Folha de S. Paulo newspaper created a special edition of the newspaper with the same criteria used in printing currency, from security paper to watermarks, fluorescent fibers to exclusive holographs, to take a stand and show that truth has never been worth so much. This 15-meter flag was flown from the Spanish warship San Ildefonso until she was captured by the British fleet during the Battle of Trafalgar on the 21st of October 1805. At Persepolis near Shiraz, there's a relief carving of an okapi, now found only in the Democratic Republic of Congo, as part of the Nubian delegation procession on East Stairs, Apadana, dated to late 5th/early 6th circa. On the subject of nuclear weapons, a comparison between the size relative to fission yield of two different physics packages where the magic happens. Gadget, Trinity test, 20 knot compared to the W80 used in nuclear ALCMs and Tomahawks, 150 knot. Nuclear weapons have become smaller over time. I bought this French hotel phone and decided to improve it in an Art Deco style. I made the whole top part, and also some secrets. Inspired by the movie Shining, I named it Jack and His Secrets. Ear-shaped wood piece on a beach that I found. German Gothic Sabbatins from 1490. In late 2018, after printing the news daily for over 85 years, Lebanese newspaper An-Nahar released an entirely blank newspaper, in response to a long-running government impasse which had seen politicians fail to form a working coalition. Hackney Marshes is internationally known as the spiritual home of Sunday League football, with 82 football, rugby, and cricket pitches on North and South Marsh and Mabley Green. This picture of New York in 1933 looks like it's from the 2070s. The giant hole in the ground directly across Fifth Avenue is the construction site of the future Rockefeller Center. This 1897 Morgan silver dollar still in circulation I got from the bank. This is the US Debt Clock website. It displays our national debt, money creation, revenue, etc. in real time. Mammoth ivory female statue at the Lesbute Venus. Upper Paleolithic period, Gravechan culture, circa 26,000-24,000 BP. Found in 1922 in Rideau's Cave of Lespugue, Haute-Garonne, France. Height 14.7 cm. Musée d'Ollon, Paris, France.